50 subs for a foot review. If I get 50 subs, I'll do a foot review. Just kidding. I'm not doing a foot review.
Great shot.
Just wouldn't be fun enough. Earth is big, so in order for the Earth to be flat, you would have to be not that flat. So you could just walk on the edge of it and you'll be fine. Oh my god, Ricky! Waiting, get something happen. Waiting until he goes, because he just sat there. Like they bought a great paradise! High is 71, low 54, we go to there. Fancy bar! On Wednesday, it's just gonna be weather, so that's good. Hi, Barbie.
We were playing last night. I remember. Okay, moving on. There's my third here.
Illustrator.
Okay, then you want to stand right on top of this. Nice. Let's go. And it's right.
After letting go of a ledge, you can't grab it again for almost 1 second. To be exact, for 55 frames. The same rule also applies after you receive any kind of knockback. Especially very small knockback can either screw you or help you out depending on which side of the stage you are on. I'm C5 from the Beefy Smash Dudes, and I know that this is no new discovery or anything, and a lot of you probably know about this already. But it's also important to be aware of it while playing, and to know how to avoid getting gimped because of it, or how to use it against an opponent. There are basically two ways this can screw you. Either because you fall past the ledge without a jump or no good recovery move, or you use your recovery move too quickly after being hit so that you overshoot the ledge, making you an easy target. Avoiding both of these is actually pretty easy.
Oh my god.
Is Smash 4 getting boring and repetitive? Beefy Smash Dudes, and in this video we will go through our top 5 favorite custom ways to play Smash. Yes, even the beefy Smash Dudes don't always grind competitive 1v1s. Sometimes we just want to chill and enjoy the game in new ways, so over the years we have seen and come up with some pretty cool ways to just have fun with Smash. Game number 1, I Main Random, is actually still kinda competitive. Picking random in a 1v1 can be pretty cool since it's fun to play different characters and get surprised by what the game throws at you. The only problem is that, well, it really is random, which can lead to some pretty unfair matchups. We wanted to find a way to both play random but still keep it somewhat competitive, so we invented a simple point system where the worse your matchup is, the more points you get. That way you will get rewarded for winning with a low tier more than winning with a high tier. It basically works like this. Take any tier list you want, either the community's official tier list or Zero's tier list or any other that you think represents the character's power best. Then you both pick random and play the game. Every win gets you 55 points, plus or minus your matchup rate. The matchup rate is the difference of your character's position on the tier list. So if one gets the 20th best character and the other gets the 30th best, the matchup rate is 10. So in this case, the player with the stronger character would only get a total of 45 points for winning, while the one with the weaker character would get 65. You can either press start at the beginning of the match and look it up real quick to make the match more interesting, or just play it and calculate the points afterwards. Note down the points somewhere and play the next match. The player who first reaches 300 points wins. You can of course adjust this number for longer or shorter sessions if you want. You can also play with a standard of 58 points if you also play with Miis, since then there are a total of 58 characters. As a small bonus rule, we decided to set a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 100 points that you can earn per match to make every match count at least something and give extreme upsets less impact. While this might sound a little complicated, it really isn't, and it can give playing random that slight competitive touch to make it more fun. If you like playing many different characters, you should definitely try this out. Game number 2 we call Sounds Like Smash, and this one is a little different from what you might expect. For this game, you don't actually play Smash, and you can do it with as many people as you want. What you do is go into 8-player Smash and add 8 CPUs on level 9 with random selected. Set the timer to 1 minute and you are good to go. Now you turn the TV into the opposite direction, or just make everyone who is playing look the other way, or at least not at the screen. Everyone needs something to write notes on, like either a piece of paper with a pencil or just a smartphone. You start the game, and without looking at the screen, you have to figure out which 8 characters the game chose for the CPUs only by listening to the TV until the announcer shouts "Time!" and the match ends. While listening, write down the characters so you don't forget them. After the match, you look at the TV where the result screen will reveal the solution. I know this might sound stupid, but we tried it and it was actually really fun and harder than you might think with so much going on at the same time. For every correct character, you gain 1 point, and for every character you guessed wrong, you lose 1. A character that you just didn't guess at all gives you 0 points. So, for example, if you only guess 6 out of 8 and all of them are correct, you gain 6 points. Okay, now, so that you really understand how this game works, we will give you a short example. We will play 10 seconds of 8-player free-for-all without showing you the footage, and you have to figure out as many characters as you can. Are you ready? Here it is.
3, 2, 1,
Hit.
go!
Diddy Kong. Mario.
Tell us in the comments how many you got. Here is the solution. If you feel like 1 minute is too short, you can always add more time to the matches. This is definitely the perfect party game for a group of smashers that want to try something new. The third game is pretty casual, but can be really fun. It's kind of a known thing already, but for those of you that don't know about it, here is the Ganon Challenge. Our recommended number of players is 4, but you can play it with up to 8 people. All players, except for one, pick Ganondorf and team up against one poor victim, with team attack off. Every player has 3 stocks, and the one playing alone can choose any character and stage they want. Of course, this is a close to impossible challenge, but the point here is not winning against all Ganons. The point is taking as many stocks as possible before losing your own 3 stocks. Every stock the Ganons lose, get the victim 1 point. The Ganondorfs cannot gain points. After the game, someone else takes the position of the victim, and this process repeats until everyone played the Ganon Challenge at least once. You can play more than just 1 round and try out different strategies, but there is one rule. You cannot pick the same character or stage twice, so you have to be creative. In the end, the player with the most total points wins. The strategies to take stocks from Ganons can vary, from running away with a fast character on a big stage to picking a very chaotic stage, hoping that the Ganons eliminate themselves. Give it a try and find out who's best at fighting evil. Our fourth game, the Smash board game, is a bit similar to our first one and can be played with 2 people, but is more something for free-for-alls with 4 to 8 people. The character select screen is your playboard. You can choose to play with the whole cast or just choose 1 or 2 rows. Every player starts by picking the first character and you just play your match, 1v1, doubles or free-for-all. For every stock you take during the match, you are allowed to move 1 step forward on the character select screen, and the character you land on is the one you have to play in your next match. As a little bonus, the actual winner of the match gets an extra point. This rule makes more sense in free-for-alls than in singles or doubles. The player who first reaches the end of the playboard wins.
Wow, incredible. And the super volcano's still going.
You fight all your enemies with gentle scalp massages, or just me? Oh, do you have an umbrella? Because I think I felt a raindrop. A really, really pathetic raindrop. Get it through your mainframe, Brobot. That pea shooter is never getting through this hard hat. Hey, buddy! How long you gonna charge that thing for?
Few more minutes.
You sure? Cause, it's kind of warping the fabric of space and time. And you're glowing. Hey, how about I just surrender? Is that cool? Holy shit! You need to fire that thing right now! Ha! You suck! Man, that thing is still going.
Hey, does this stage have like a second fast-moving fireball-y sun? No. Why? Oh, no reason. Just,
You fight all your enemies with gentle scalp massages, or just... me. Oh, do you have an umbrella? Because I think I felt a raindrop. Oh, really? You fight all your enemies with gentle scalp massages, or just me? Oh, do you have an umbrella? Because I think I felt a raindrop. A really, really pathetic raindrop. Get it through your mainframe, Brobot. That pea shooter is never getting through this hard hat.
Are you done?
Hey, buddy! How long you gonna charge that thing for?
few more minutes.
You sure? Cause, it's kind of warping the fabric of space and time.
I like this
And
video.
you're glowing. Hey, how about I just surrender? Is that cool? Holy shit! You need to fire that thing right now!
What could be better than playing some of the best games ever made? Why, playing them with two players, of course. And the Super NES Classic makes no bones about it, by including 2 controllers inside the box and 9 compatible games, which is almost half of the entire collection. And not only does the Super Nintendo Classic explicitly mark the 2-player compatible games with an icon, but you can also group all 9 of them together for even easier access. But what if I told you that the main menu isn't telling the whole truth? Because there are actually a couple of more games that also support 2 players that the Super NES Classic doesn't tell you about. And that might be because their 2-player modes aren't quite as obvious as the others. Like Yoshi's Island, which hides its 2-player mode behind a cheat code. To access it, hold the select button while on the world map, and then press Super Easy to Access. Because you can simply connect a second controller at any time, and it will instantly duplicate the functionality of Controller 1. Yep, both players have full control over the game at all times, which really leaves it entirely up to the both of you as to how to play. If you want to have a constant tug of war for control over Ness, sure, why not? Or if you want to play it seriously, you could each agree to only take control of specific characters during battle, without the hassle of having to pass a controller around. At the very least, it could lead to some interesting Let's Plays. And there you have it, a couple of secret 2-player modes that the Super NES Classic doesn't tell you about. Which, by the way, technically means more than half of the Super NES Classic's library is 2-player compatible. Neat! And with that, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on the Super NES Classic and everything else Nintendo as well.
Hello and welcome to Under the Super Scope, where we take an in-depth look at some of the most famous games of all.
Boring.
Guess who's back?
Like me. Like me.
Let me see who we could raid.
Me.
I think I have an idea, but I don't know. He's still alive. Hold on, let me check. Rick and Morty, I already rated you. You are not live anymore. Rick. Okay, I found someone. So we are gonna raid my boy.
Skinny penis.
Hold on. Okay, so actually, we are not gonna do Hashima Haspray. We are gonna do this instead. So ready?
Debbie and Circle Jerk
So this
too.
is what we're
Oh
gonna
my
do.
god!